Very uneventful. Oh, there's some kid next to me. Snuggling up next to me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's my son.
Is snuggling with you?
Yeah, he's like holding my arm.
Aww.
Aww. He's snapping. Oh, I guess I need to read this. Or Timmy.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and
What
gentlemen,
happened?
we are now crossing a zone of turbulence. Please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts fastened.
What?
And I picked up a little survival book. Ooh,
Oh,
that's not good.
What is?
Cabin crew, please.
Timmy! No! Hi all, this is Eerie Knight here, and today we are going to discuss all the latest known details of the Sons of the Forest, the sequel to the hit 2018 game of the same name, minus the Sons. And of, I suppose. Probably should delete the space in between of and the, technically speaking. And there we go! The sequel to The Forest, a game in which you crash land on an island with your son Timmy, only for him to be immediately kidnapped upon arrival. And the only thing between you and him is some trees, some rocks, some rivers, and of course the occasional cannibal and mutant trying to eat you. Your task as the player is to immediately ignore looking for your kid and instead build a sprawling base. And you know, finding Timmy later, at some point eventually. Along the way, you will need to explore, scavenge for supplies, forage and hunt for food, and defend yourself against the onslaught of cannibals and mutants. The setup for this game is not unlike its predecessor, which immediately drops you into the action. This time you are going to the same island to track down some billionaire, and you find yourself stuck there. Fortunately, even if you are playing single player, you are not alone. Kelvin, a companion character, will be your buddy that you can gather resources, fight, and even hold a radio for you to listen to music. However, if you do prefer solitude, you can shoot him in the face, which will result in permadeath, no respawning. If you are playing multiplayer, you cannot form an army of Kelvins. There will always and forever be one Kelvin. Or zero if, again, you choose to shoot him in the face. There will, of course, be other non-hostile NPCs that you can encounter throughout the game and become companions. One such character is a 3-armed mutant Virginia that can apparently dual-wield a machine gun and a pistol, so be careful on shooting her in the face. As for the hostile NPC variety, there will be more types this go around. First of which looks like a seemingly massive behemoth, as his hand is the size of that poor soldier. These other new enemies look like they haven't seen light in generations, confined to the deep cave systems. They are pale from the lack of sunlight and faceless, with skin now covering their useless eyes, as they have long been bereft of light. Next new enemy is Tall Mask Guy. He does look rather intimidating and is most likely a later game enemy spawn. Then there is Sideways Mouth Tentacle Guy that looks like he walked off the set of John Carpenter's This Thing. Next we have the conjoined twins that can crawl on cave walls. And lastly, Double Trouble, with what can only be described as a human centipede gone even more horribly wrong. The next item of discussion on our list is the new advanced AI system. Traditional AI in most games would invoke the following set of logic. AI sees the player, targets the player, attacks the player.
Oh my gosh,
the end.
The weather.
Oh, they're fighting each other. Cool. It's a free-for-all. However, the developers for this game wanted something that felt more organic, more fluid. Each cannibal and mutant now have their own brain, their own individuality that dictates what they'll do in a given scenario.
They remember things.
They can remember how you behave, how you interact with them, the way you act in confrontation, and even in the environment in general, like how you gather resources, build, just treat the environment. Your actions can directly influence how they will react to you, while also taking into consideration their individual traits. One cannibal might cower in fear at the sight of you decapitating another cannibal, while another one may charge at you in anger. Brandishing your pistol may be able to intimidate enemies. However, fear isn't the only metric. Some may be more religious than others, or have more tendency for leadership and higher morale. These behaviors are not heavily scripted, so these things don't always trigger, so it creates a very organic, emergent experience. There also exists some factions of enemies, and these different groups don't necessarily like each other and are in fact sometimes openly hostile. This could be used to your advantage, as you could be in a cannibal village fighting some cannibals, and then suddenly an adversarial group attacks and the cannibals start fighting them off. So you can either get away with the diversion or stick around to mop up the survivors. There is an ebb and flow between the factions and groups, so if you were to kill all the villages, then the creepy cave dwellers may swoop in to take advantage, and you'll need to deal with more of them on the outside. It is truly survival of the fittest, and even if the competition is severely crippled, others will fill the empty power vacuum. The player can essentially trigger wars between factions, which, if done properly, can create lots of opportunity for the player to take advantage. But again, your actions may have additional consequences. If you go on a murderous rampage, cannibals might prepare against you by wearing more armor, or be more proactive and form hunting parties to track you down. They'll also use other strategies like actively trying to tear down your base and steal resources. Aside from all the new NPCs and related AI, the game world itself is receiving an overhaul. Seasons are now present threat and will dynamically change, altering gameplay and survival strategies. Berry bushes will have greatly reduced berries during the winter. There will be fewer animals, water freezing, and hostiles won't venture out as far, as they'll be dealing with similar survival issues themselves. During the dead of winter, the player will need to find new sources of food and water that they may otherwise rely on during the warmer months. So you'll need to venture out further from your settlement to find additional resources, which can present new risks and challenges. Seasons won't be immediate, changing of the seasons will be gradual, so don't expect to go to sleep surrounded by green trees and frolicking deer and wake up to a godforsaken barren snowland. The player will have time to adapt their survival strategies. The map itself is about 4 times as big, with tons of environmental variation. The island is much more lush and detailed, with less generic flat open features. There are roughly 5 times plants and trees as before. Total foliage entities in the first game numbered around 40,000, here over 1 million. Another system that has seen some uplifting is the building and crafting system. Many new rich animations have been added, enhancing the player's connection to the world. In the previous game, you would use the blueprint system that would create a ghost structure, and all you would need to do was spam E from anywhere to fill in all the logs or rocks. Now you can lay them down where you want them, split the log, place the foundation, manually position logs however you like, though they will snap together at anchor points to make a structurally compliant building. It is now more intuitive, so say you want to put spikes on a log, carve it out with your axe. Want a window? Cut the space in the wall where you want it. No more placing a ghost structure and filling in the space. Now you have more control of what you can build. In other news, the player can also find an underground bunker that can 3D print stuff. Not much is known yet as to the extent of things you can 3D print, but at the very least you'll be able to craft a mask to blend in with the locals. Additionally, there will be more variety of modern ballistic guns, from shotguns, pistols, tasers, stun batons, and crossbows. All in all, this is looking like one of the most exciting games of 2023, one that both Taco Bear and I will be eager to try out. We hope you found this video informative, and if so, please drop a comment below on your thoughts about this game and smash the like button. Just really get in there and destroy it, and subscribe. See you all in the forest on February 23, 2023.